What's good, YouTube? In today's video, I am going to be reacting to a top 25 ranking of the best footballers in the 21st century. The top 25 best football players in the 21st century. Now, this list was created by ESPN, and a lot of people have some things to say about this list. They don't like a lot of the selections. They think that there is some major flaws in this list. So we're going to get into it. Now, it's important to understand before we even get started that this is not the result of expert analysts sitting down and talking about the greatest players of the 21st century. This is after collating thousands of votes. So I guess you could say this is sort of a representation of what the American football fan or the American public thinks about the sport of football and the greatest footballers in the 21st century. Now, the 21st century, that's 2000 until now. So basically the last 24 years. And so I don't think you could argue any other person. Obviously, I'm going to argue Lionel Messi is the greatest of all time. I don't think you can argue anyone else at number one, especially in the last 24 years or so. He's been easily the best footballer in the world. I don't think that there's any debate here. The things that this man has done is absolutely amazing, unreal. And number two, I'm not mad at it. Cristiano Ronaldo. Makes a lot of sense for Cristiano Ronaldo to be number two. In fact, those two men kind of have defined football for the last 24 years. You look back and look at what's happened in the landscape of football, and you see Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi at the top of that list. I have no problem with 1 and 2. Totally understandable, especially if you're just taking into account the last 24 years of football history. Number 3. Now, here's where I'm going to have less opinion, right? Because I wasn't really watching for the last 24 years. I've been watching for the last 2. So I am actually entering at the time that football's transitioning into a new era. So I can't tell. He has been one of my favorite players to react to. I loved watching Thierry Henry's highlights. The speed at which he played the game, the skill that he played with. I have no problem with him being on the greatest of all time list, like on the top 25 greatest players to play the game. He's up there somewhere. In the last 24 years, I would think this is probably an accurate. 2004 is the year that Arsenal had their invincible season. If I remember, 2004, unbeaten. So he was at the height of his powers in the 2000s. I can't hate on Thierry Henry as the third. Zinedine Zidane. Now here I have a little bit of trouble with him at number 4, and the reason why is most of his. I was under the impression most of his accomplishments were in the 1990s. So leading up to the 21st century, he was amazing. And I'm guessing he had some good times after that. But I don't know that I would put him... Well, maybe. Zinedine Zidane is obviously one of the greatest players who's ever played. But I don't know about putting him as number 4 in the 21st century. That's where I'm a little iffy. And I'm definitely iffy. I can see it already here underneath. I'm definitely iffy with number 5. Luka Modric? I love Luka Modric. Every time I'm watching a game and Luka Modric comes on the pitch, my Twitch chat can tell you, I always talk about how much I love Luka Modric. He's one of the most likable individuals in the sport of football. I respect him. He's a very classy individual. And yet I would never put him at the fifth best footballer in the last 20 years. I don't know who I would put above him because I'm trying to think off the top of my head here. But you had Ricardo Kaka. You had you had a whole host of Ronaldinho was in the early 2000s. Neymar, we got Luka Modric number 5. Number 5. Over the last 20 years. I don't know about Luka Modric this high. 25 maybe. On the the bottom end of this list maybe. The number 5? I think that's way too high for Luka Modric, and I'm not hating on him. I love Luka. I don't think he should be this high on this list. And obviously number 6. Dude, Kylian Mbappe, in the last 24 years, you're telling me that he's done enough to be ranked 6th. 6th. I mean, I think he's a good player. I think we're actually probably going to see the best stint of his career right now at Real Madrid. I think we're entering the next 5 years. We're going to see the best version of Kylian Mbappe. He's going to accomplish more in the next 5 years than he's accomplished already. He's a World Cup winner, 7-time League One winner, 4-time French Cup winner. But I just don't think people actually think of him in the same light as these other players, especially not through the entirety of the last 20 years. I'm incredulous about this number. I like Kylian Mbappe. I don't think he should be number 6 on this list. Andres Iniesta, number 7. Obviously, I'm not going to really have an opinion. I didn't watch him play, so it's hard for me to actually put into words how good Andres Iniesta was. I know that he was an amazing player, and I know he accomplished a lot. I mean, somewhere in the middle of this list, I think you have to throw Andres Iniesta in your top 25. I don't know exactly where. Somewhere in the, I would say somewhere in the 9 to 15 range, Andres Iniesta makes sense. So I'm not too mad at number 7. I just don't know. Maybe he is 7 or higher. I don't know. But number 7 on the list. It's hard for me to really. Same thing with Xavi Hernandez. I know Xavi, one of the great players. So number 8, not too mad at it. I don't know where. I would probably put him lower, probably 12 to 15. But like I said, this is where the 2 years of football knowledge is. It's like, why are you trusting what I'm saying here in this section? I think he's probably somewhere in this top 25. Just don't know where. Somewhere in the middle. Now, Ronaldo Nazario. Now, here's where all the fans immediately, you're going to be lighting the comment section up. How is R9 number 9? This isn't, got to remember, this isn't the all-time great list. This is not the top 25 players of all time. On that list, he's got to be up there at, higher on this list than some of the names that have already been said. He's definitely higher than Mbappe. Definitely higher than Luka Modric. Definitely higher than Iniesta or Xavi. But this is speaking of the 2000s, and he's another player that played in the 90s, 2000s. Much of his accomplishments come in the 90s. So I'm not sure. R9 probably still did enough in the 2000s to deserve being on this list. It says here, all of these virtues were best seen in the 20th century, but the 21st century came up with the best storyline. Twice his knee collapsed beneath him, and he was left howling in gruesome pain. Many thought the second time was the end of his career. In the build-up to the 2002 World Cup, Inter Milan, his club in Italy, could not get him fit. Brazil took charge of his recovery, and Ronaldo took the tournament by storm, carrying a side that nearly failed to qualify all the way to a memorable triumph. Maybe that alone puts him on this list, and maybe 9 is the right spot for him. I don't know. But I wouldn't have him higher if we're talking about the 21st century. If we're talking about all-time players, he definitely ranks higher than some of the names that have been named here. Oh, see, look, it has him at number 6 on soccer's all-time 20. They have Ronaldo at 6 there. Ronaldinho. Wow. Number 10. I just don't know how. Yeah, it says from 2003 to 2006 there was no better show. Like, this was the era of Ronaldinho. So how is Ronaldinho number 10 underneath Xavi and Iniesta, underneath Mbappe, underneath Luka Modric? Like, Ronaldinho should be way up here because his heyday was in the early 2000s. So I'm kind of upset about him being this low on the list. Number 10. Number 11, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Not really opinionated on where he fits in this list. He's a memorable player. 511 career goals, scored at least one Champions League goal with 6 teams, 12 league titles with 5 European clubs, named UEFA's Team of the Year 4 times, Sweden's leading career scorer, representing Sweden at 6 major tournaments. Not mad at his name being thrown in here, and I'm not mad at him being number 11. I think that's probably a pretty decent range, 10 to 15, where he should be somewhere in there. Kevin De Bruyne. Also not mad at him being 12th. I think that's pretty reasonable. 3-time league player of the season, twice in the Premier League, once in the Bundesliga, Champions League winner. Obviously, he's one of the greatest midfielders we've seen. He's an amazing passer. His struggle is actually fitness and staying healthy, but I don't fault him as a player for his lack of availability. He just unfortunate for him. He just gets hurt a lot. So, but yeah, top 25 in the last. He should be in there. He's been an amazing player in the 21st century. Really, really good midfielder. I think 12 is a reasonable place to have Kevin De Bruyne here, in my mind. Now, what? Stop it right there. I see you right now. You're getting all in your feelings. You're getting all butthurt right now about my opinion. I've been at this for 2 years. Don't be insecure. My opinion probably does suck, and you probably are justified and right in disagreeing with me. But before you lash out in the comments, I'm new at this. And it's my opinion. Just let me know how wrong I am. I'm fine with that. All right, Toni Kroos. Kroos. An amazing player. I'm not mad at him being in this list. I don't know if 13, I don't know where. I mean, obviously it's going to be hard for me to rank in between some of these players that I know. So, I'm just going to move on. I think he deserves to be on the list for sure. He's a legend. A very, very good player. Germany's going to miss him. Sergio Ramos, World Cup winner, 2-time European champion winner, 4-time Champions League winner, 5-time La Liga winner. Sergio Ramos. Never watched him play. I only know him by his name. I only know him by his reputation. I never watched him play. I don't know much about him as a player. So it's kind of hard for me to say whether he should be higher or lower than 14 on the list. I do think he's probably well deserving of being on this list. Carles Puyol, an amazing defender. I think it's good to have him on this list. Not mad at him being on this list at all. Amazing defender, played for Barcelona during their heyday. I reacted to Carles Puyol on the channel. He was one of the best defenders I've ever seen. He's, not as good for me as Maldini or some of those other guys, but he's up there as one of the greatest defenders I've ever seen. Oh yeah, Franco Baresi. That's the player right here. This is the player I still have to react to, and people tell me is the one that I'm gonna. To me, so far, Paolo Maldini is the best defender I've ever seen. So, but people tell me this is the blueprint. So, I'll check him out. Karim Benzema, Ballon d'Or winner, Champions League winner. Yeah, he deserves to be, especially for the last, in the 2000s. He's an amazing player. I think he deserves to be on this list. I think 16 is fine. Yeah. I think Mbappe should have been down here at the, 10 to 15 range. Busquets, obviously, when you see the game, if you watch the game, you don't see Busquets, but if you watch Busquets, you see the game. He makes it happen. One of the best midfielders I've ever seen. Amazing skill on the ball. His go-to moves, that little spin move where you just didn't know, you just don't know where the ball went. He's put you in the spin cycle and you're gone. I love watching Sergio Busquets. Lewandowski. Yeah. Robert Lewandowski's an amazing player. Obviously one of those great legendary players. Has one of the most historic moments in all of football, with the 5 goals in 9 minutes. He's a consistent player, 2-time Ballon d'Or striker of the year, UEFA Player of the Year, 7-time Bundesliga leading scorer. Just an amazing player. He's been an important player in football history. Definitely deserves to be on this top 25 list. This is where I'm having trouble. Oh my gosh. How is Ricardo Kaka so low on this list? How is he not top 5? FIFA World Cup winner, Ballon d'Or winner, UEFA Champions League winner, FIFA World Player of the Year, La Liga, Serie A, the last Brazilian to be chosen as World Player of the Year. I only just now reacted to him just in the last couple months and was so blown away by his ability. It's kind of hard for me to see him down at 19 on this list. I guess it's because his best in his first spell with AC Milan from 2003 to 2009. I mean, he was great in the 2000s. How is he so low on this list? Neymar. Like, why are Neymar and Kaka so low on this list? They should be higher. They should be in that top 5, top 10. Neymar down here. Maybe top 10 for Neymar. I'm not sure. I'm still blown away that these names are behind Luka Modric, who's a good player. I swear, this video is making it seem like I'm just ranting about Luka Modric. I love Luka Modric. How is he just missed the list? I thought this was the top 25. Andrea Pirlo, Wayne Rooney, Patrick Vieira, and Luis Suarez, Gianluigi Buffon. How are these names off the list? How is Manuel Neuer not on this list? Yeah. I think there are moments on this list that I agree with a lot of the names here. I don't agree with the placements of many of these names. But that's what ESPN decided to put out. That's the top 25 men's soccer players of the 21st century, according to ESPN, according to the thousands of fans who voted on these players. There's a lot. I don't even know. So you let me know in the comment section down below. You guys are going to have a little better grasp. You guys are going to have a little better grasp on what's going on with this list. And just let me know where I'm wrong, where this list is wrong, what you think about this list. Just let me know that in the comment section down below. Smash like on this video if you really like this content. And if you're still watching, congratulations. I'm about to show you something super, super cool. Hey there, let me show you something cool that I'm doing over on Patreon. Here on Patreon, on the $5 tier, I am reacting to videos that I can't upload here on YouTube. Look, Liverpool 4, Barcelona 0, the game highlights, the game footage. This would get blocked in a second on YouTube. I'm also, the Hand of God game, Diego Maradona and the goal of the century. I just put this one up on Patreon for the $5 tier memberships. For the $1 US dollar a month, you get to see the game highlights of Paul Pogba and all the other players that I've been reacting to, along with any kind of video that gets blocked on YouTube. Look at the dramatic final between Bayern Munich and Manchester United. What an epic game. And I'm doing classic games as well as following through all the World Cups, $5 US a month. I'd love to see you over there. I'm having a blast uploading these things, and it really helps me help support the channel. I appreciate every single one of you. Now back to your video.